Welcome to your presentation and introduction to OneSource Global Business Browser. And what we're going to do in our time together today is explore the various ways that you can use Global Business Browser, take a look at some of the content that's available. By no means can we cover everything in the time that we've got, so definitely would encourage you after you see this to get yourself access into your account and do some exploring. Because as you'll discover, there are lots of angles of approach. There's no right or wrong way to search with this, and everybody develops kind of their own path through the data. This just gives you kind of a real high overview of what's available within the Global Business Browser. Probably most important for you is how do I gain access? So this page gives you a sense that you're going to start at that My 1693. You're going to have log in to access. If you haven't set up an account already, you're going to want to contact Kelly and get that up and running for yourself. So I'm going to switch now and go out to the actual product itself. And this is going to put us out into the OneSource page. So once you hit Global Business Browser's homepage, there's a couple of things here to start with. You can see really quick search by entering a company name, an executive search looking for people, news stories, and searching across a particular industry. You also have the ability to adjust how you're seeing the information. I set mine at global preference, but you can adjust this to look at an individual section, whether it's North America, Europe, UK, or Asia Pacific. You set the currency. Once you've done that, continue, and it'll take you back to the start page. And you can edit this at any time as you're working with this. And you'll see when you're actually in the business profile that you can adjust the currency on that profile as well. Down at the very bottom of the page, there's a link to information partners, and this is where we're showing you all of the information partners that bring data to OneSource. So we're aggregators of information, meaning that we're actually bringing all this data in, and then we're synthesizing it. So what we deliver to you is the best information from all of these different sources. So there might be one provider that's really strong in bringing us address information, but not so great at revenue numbers, but we'll use another source for that, and maybe another source for executive information or business description. So what you'll end up with at the end of the day is a golden record or a best record of information for a particular business. And the other piece we want to show you from the home page is at the very top right, and that's live support. So you have access to live support 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday, via chat, email, or telephone. So if you've got an issue with data that you're curious about, or setting up a search, or the results you're getting, definitely contact the people at support. That's what they're there for. So as you can see from the starting point, a quick search is really as easy as filling information into a space here, and I'm going to put in Coca-Cola as my starting company to begin with, and that takes us out to a list of all of the Coca-Cola listings that are contained within Business Browser, and you can see there's 1,194 companies. The way that results come back, so this will be pertinent throughout, on any table, they're going to be ranked by number of employees, at the largest at the very top. These are all sortable, so if I wanted to do this by country in alpha order, a click there puts that in place for me. And again, I can reverse that back to where it is and put that back to largest company at the top just by manipulating these very columns. Anytime you see the icons here, whether it's the Excel or the PDF, that just means that you can export that information into that format. All of these links will take you out to profiles about that individual business unit. So we're going to take the parent company, and we're going to just kind of explore high level what sort of information you'll find within a profile. Everything that's in this profile is listed down on the left-hand side here. So you can see all those various items. We start with contact information at the top of the page, a link to the company's website, corporate family structures here, so very similar to that first table we looked at with all of the branches and subsidiaries of Coca-Cola, and then financial information listed here again at a high level. There's a description of the business that expands even greater here. Information about the industry codes associated with the business. We link you to a snapshot or a tear sheet about an individual industry that the business is associated with, and that's what this looks like. So the industry information is just talking about a definition of the industry, subsectors, key companies with the industry, movers and shakers, what's hitting the market, talking points, and the very bottom, some associated links to journals, associations, and trade shows. So you scroll down, there are rosters of key executives. These, again, with their hyperlink, will take you out to more information about that individual. And I'm just using my back button to navigate significant developments, news stories, financial summary, and so on as you scroll down the page. And again, this is the front page of the information that we have about Coca-Cola. Everything on the left just connects you to more information. From the one-stop report, you have the ability to print out all of the data that we have on Coca-Cola, and I would advise you that's about 350 pages worth of information, or you can customize just by taking individual sections and running that report. This is also where you're going to see the credit report. SWOT reports are associated here. Analyst reports are here. Annual reports if it's a public company, and then all of the financial information for that particular business. So a pretty straightforward way to use this is searching for a company. So if you want to do in-depth information gathering, that's the easy way to get at this. You can also build data sets. So if you're looking at, let's build a list of companies of interest, come into the Build a List section, and here you see these 4 tabs. These are the 4 different regions that you can break down to, or the global tab captures everything. The difference is going to be primarily in how the location information is reported, and you can see that as we click through here. So the US and Canada, I can get real specific for a state or a county or an MSA, even down to the city level. UK just changes a little bit again in how you're naming the location. Europe and Asia Pac follow suit for that. So if we were to do a search in the US and Canada, and let's pick let's take the South Atlantic states. So that should have Virginia in there. And you can see under states and province all the different states that are listed here, and you can select and add to these lists easy enough. But right now we're looking at everything in the South Atlantic. And if we come under industry classification, again, you can work with any of these codes or the OneSource industry codes. So if I was using NAICS codes at a high level, and I'm just going to put in the manufacturing codes 31, 32, and 33, and then just run my search. So really basic here. If you wanted to narrow this down and just look for public parents and private parents, and then run my search. So we have 767 listings that meet that particular criteria. View results just takes you out to that information in chart form. And again, remember they're being ordered based on the number of employees. And again, these are all sortable. So if I wanted to change this and put that alpha order by state, easy enough to do that. Each of these is going to open up to a profile similar to what we saw for Coca-Cola. Got it? So back to the home page, and we'll do something a little bit more advanced here. So far we've looked at a company, we've built a list of manufacturers in the Atlantic states that were public parents or private parents. Now we're going to do something that may be a little bit more sophisticated in this. So we're going to start with the global locator and take South America. I'm going to use the OneSource industry map here, and we'll take food and beverage, and we'll take the beverage manufacturing. Save that. So that's our initial searches, South American beverage manufacturers. We want to narrow the list down by size, and we're going to do by rank. We're going to take the top 100 by sales rank. So again, you see there's lots of different ways that I can set up and create a search. So we have 100 companies come back, and we have that list in front of us that we're going to work with. So this gives us some pretty basic information. You can go deeper with this data and again, customize how you're seeing the data. And for that, you'll see this little hammer. It says build a custom table. And this is where you can pick data points to build out your particular chart. And in this case, we're going to add information about the location. So we want the city and the country that these are located in. And we want to add in information about who the parent is. So ultimate parent, parent, ultimate parent, parent country, and add those, and see I can actually adjust how I see this information. And I might want to add information on, again, number of employees or sales volume to put that together, but really I just want to locate the information as we see it here. Once I've built out the variables, find the little looking glass, and that's going to take you back to your table. And you see this information now in front of you. Again, everything here goes out to a particular profile. Everything here sorts it. So if I wanted to sort in alpha order by ultimate parent, you know, that's easily done to put that information together. So I'm going to go back to our starting page. So hopefully now you're getting kind of a sense of navigating through here, using particular buttons, you know, coming back to the start page. I'm going to go a little bit deeper now and do another custom list. So we're going to build a list. I'm going to do this by continent. And within the continent, I'm going to locate Nigeria. So I'm going to Nigeria here, industry map again. This time we'll look at banking and finance. So everything in that category has been selected and added. And going to bring me back a list of Nigerian banks. So I've got all of those in place. You can sort again by the columns at the top. Anytime I have a list where I've got the little pieces here, I can actually include or exclude. In this case, I'm going to narrow my list down. I'm going to just pick 2 banks, and then I'm going to remove everything else by taking the unselected and dropping those off my list. So now I've narrowed my list down to 2 banks, and I want to bring in a bank to add to this. Now it doesn't have to be a bank, but in this case, so add to the list. I'm going to add Wells Fargo to do some comparisons on this. And we'll take Wells Fargo, and that's been now added to my list. So deep within all of this information, there are specific company reports. So if you remember the company reports that were associated with Coca-Cola, we can come in and find specific reports that tie to the 3 banks that we have here. And I'm going to take financial health and add that. So what we'll see here is a tear sheet with the financial health first for Wells Fargo, beneath that for Echo Bank where there's nothing, and then there's Diamond Bank with that information. And again, that information can be printed because you have the little printer here to take that data. Back to the home page, industry information. We can enter an industry here, or as you've seen before, we can do it from up above. And I'll take brewing here. My search, and then this is just going to take me out to a profile about breweries. So we give you the NAICS code, total companies listed in this category, where you see them in the NAICS code, so they're 31 under manufacturing. And then just scroll down the page again. This is just the top page for that information on this industry. We can adjust this. We were looking at South America, so we can say just show us South America brewing, and that breaks that down. Industry activities, industry family, and then all of the various market research reports associated with this particular industry. And all of these generate in PDF. This too can be sorted. It's easier to find by country, or by title, or by date, and you can just narrow these down to either Market Line, Euromonitor, or Fredonia, and then the RMAs those industry norms are associated here as well. Also, the latest news stories, analyst reports specific to this industry, and then some other ways to work with the data. The peer analysis just lets you bring in similar companies and do comparisons to them, similar to what we did with the banks. Back to the home page, news stories is just the ability to come in and do a basic search on a keyword or something more advanced, where you're actually building something together. So if I was looking under business topic and business development, I may take emerging markets, and then under geography, let's select Asia and add that to my search. And now I can run my search based on that information. You can see I can set the date range from entire archive all the way down to everything within the last week or even today. So last 30 days. And bring back that. And these are just links to the news stories that fit the criteria that we set in place. Also do a free text search just like you did with the basic. A list of publications is here, so all of the 23,000 sources that we're using to fill the information here are listed there. It's a pretty big chart, so we won't open that up. Analyst reports, list of all the brokerage firms where the analyst reports are coming from are listed here. And again, you can break this down by company, by brokerage house, or by industry. And then SEC filings are linked here. And then the last section that we haven't looked at are the executives. So this is how you can look for particular people, either directly by name, by industry, by their executive function, or their executive level. So by function, and I might want to come in and be contacting people in the manufacturing sector, save and close, and we want to locate them by country. And again, we're using the global category here. So if we were working with a smaller subset with the US tab, we'd have a little bit more options. So executive, manufacturer related people, and we'll put them at the vice president level and run that search. And this will bring us back a list of contacts. You can also narrow this down. So if we were to put in school information, let's go back and we'll just say this one's going back to all again. And again, this would just take us out to information about that person. So really simple to search through for executives. You saw how to search for a company by name, how to build a data set of companies, typically within an industry, some parameters in terms of size and geolocation, and how to do some of the more robust analytics in here, whether it's doing comparisons of businesses or isolated based on rankings, to bring that together, news search, working with the industry search information to get at those market research reports and the analyst reports, and then looking for individuals in here. Again, best strategy might be to get logged into an account, do some searches on companies you know, maybe build a list to just see how the tool functions. And if you get stuck in the process, you have all sorts of assistance out there through support and live chat. And if you've got any direct questions, I'll throw my contact information up there for you as well. So we're going to turn you loose. Congratulations on having access to this. I'm always curious to hear things that y'all come up with. That's the best way I learn, is how you're using it, what you're discovering, and just about every day I hear kind of a new and different way to search through this information that none of us here at Evention had ever considered before. So looking forward to hear again your successes using the product. Don't hesitate again if you've got questions to contact either someone at OneSource or send me an email directly at that address.